Robin Hood and Little John running through the forest, jumping fences, dodging trees, trying to get away.
Alright guys, welcome back to the Sarate. Today we're going to be talking about my Robin Hood PvP build for my Hunter. So first things first, of course you're definitely going to want a bow, and I couldn't suggest more the new bow that you get from the Grandmasters. And I got a roll here with elastic string as soon as it wants to pop up. Elastic string decreases that draw time, so it's very important. I also have an adept draw time weapon mod on to make that even lower. And I've found that rangefinder is actually a great trait or perk to have on your bow. And incandescent is a lot of fun too, because incandescent paired with wildcard, you're gonna be making all these like explosions from headshotting people, then wildcard with proc, and you're gonna have all these sub munitions laying around on the ground, and it's just gonna make things pretty chaotic for the enemy team. So highly suggest that. We also run a grenade launcher, and when we get into the tips and discussion part of the build, um, you're going to see why that is the case, but try to make sure that you have a GL with a auto loading holster on it. Highly recommend that. And of course, as a hunter, we want to be rocking Oathkeepers because that decreases the charge time for the bow. It increases damage, and it can also be held indefinitely, and it also gives us a moderate boost to our airborne efficiency while having a bow in the air. So all very important stuff. And when it comes to mods, highly suggest running, targeting mods that match the archetype of your bow. I also run Powerful Friends just because I typically get 2 to 3 supers a game, so it just helps my other teammates get, if they're running like anything like weapon surges, that they could do more damage with their weapons, which I'd also highly recommend putting on. I run triple bombers, so that way I can get my healing grenade back even faster. And a little sneaky thing that I like here is my friend Riku recommended this, and it's actually really fun, and that's Gunpowder Gamble. And what you want to do with that is on 3 kills with your bow, if you're using a solar bow, you can now get Gunpowder Gamble to activate by throwing what would be your grenade, but it will be Gunpowder Gamble. Toss that into the enemy team, and as soon as it lands between them, or sometimes they even shoot it themselves, and but you will nuke everything in that area, and sometimes it will get everyone low, or if not kill them, and if it just gets them low, just follow up with a bow shot, and if you have incandescent on it, everything around them will blow up, and it's a really sneaky, nasty, subtle thing to have on. And of course I highly recommend having On Your Mark. When it comes to dodges, again, highly recommend Gambler's Dodge. We'll talk about that in the tips section of the video. Again, Knife Trick is really important as well. Fragments doesn't really matter. Just spec out to where you can have 100 mobility. Prioritize always recovery though, so 100 recovery is necessary. But then prioritize mobility. Then I would prioritize discipline. Try to get 100 so you can get your healing grenades back even faster. And as a hunter, I highly suggest using strafe jump because that allows you to gather information, allows you to get in and out of lane really quickly, and I just really enjoy strafe jump. Besides that, now let's get into the next session of the video. Alright guys, so let's talk about some PvP tips, and as I discuss this, I'm just going to discuss it from a perspective of someone that might not be playing hunter much and someone that might not be using bow much. So but bear with me, there's going to be plenty of advice in here for seasoned players as well. I'm going to be talking about a lot of things that don't even require you using a bow, things that you could take into Crucible to make your gameplay better anyway. First things first, I want you guys to treat the floor as if it's lava, okay? As a hunter, and as you guys all know, hunters do not like to be on the ground. We like to be in the air, and that's how we prefer to be taking trades and and looking for those kind of like cheeky angles to get on people. And having those Oath Keepers on is a huge benefit because again, your inner air accuracy is far greater than it would be without Oath Keepers. And what's nice too is traditionally, if you have your bow drawn and you jump, a lot of times it will unknock your arrow, and then you would have to re-knock it while you're in the air. But with Oath Keepers, that's not the case. You can have a fully charged arrow and even double jump and be able to keep that full charge. So that's really important. But again, treat the floor as if it's lava. Use strafe jump. I'm a huge fan of strafe jump, and the reason for that is this. Let's say that there's a enemy player in this hallway, and I'm just wanting to gather information. So I'll just be like, okay, where is he at? I jump in the lane, I see it, then I jump back out with strafe, and it just allows me to get information if that's something I want to commit to. And that way I can slide in, maybe take a headshot. Then he's expecting me to slide back in. I'm over top his head, then I pick up the kill, and then slide back out. So again, strafe jump is really, really important because it just really holds down that hunter movement. And as everyone knows, right, like these little top pieces here with strafe jump, you can kind of boost your movement speed by hitting your top of your head on those things too as well. So it's all about movement with hunters. It's all about setting up weird angles and getting in and out of fights efficiently and effectively without killing yourself, which is always a plus. The second piece of advice I would give, this actually comes from a streamer that I really enjoy. He gives out great PvP advice, so big shout out to PattyCake Gaming. This is something that I've been applying to my snipers like a lot, and it works really good with bows as well. And that is, as a hunter, let's say there's an enemy on this box right here, and I slide in the lane or something, I take the shot, right? And a lot of people would do this. They'll take the shot and they would stay committed, waiting for that guy to come back or whatever. And you got to understand that there's a risk to everything you're going to do in PvP, and it's about giving yourself an advantage. And what Patty Cake Gaming suggests, and it's actually really, really great, is as soon as you shoot, dodge out of the way, and now you're going to see on the bottom left of my screen there, I have on your mark ×3 procced. And if you know what that ability does, it means I can reload faster, and that way I can put out more, what I call more hate in that general direction. All right, and it's also going to help you dodge like a sniper once you take that shot, or just kind of anything that's coming in that general direction. And it's really tricky to kind of like catch up on someone that's doing something like that. And you can kind of combo that with, like, let's say I come in the lane, I take the shot, he's looking at me, I dodge, and now I'm fully drawn, and I pick up a kill. And my third piece of advice would be this. This is something that I'm working on still, is don't get tunnel vision with weapons in general in PvP, especially with your bows. With bows, you want to be playing at a distance, right? We don't want to give them advantages of shoving on us. And I see a lot of times people are just like so laser focused, aiming down sights like this, and this takes away your map. And gaining that knowledge of where the enemy players are on your mini map is really important, and listening to the sounds that you're hearing. If you hear someone go invis, or if you hear someone pop a super, you need to adjust your gameplay to those things. And if you hear someone go invis and you believe that they went invis into A side here, well, maybe it's time for us to kind of back up and kind of just look for that player, rather than just being laser focused, on maybe one player that's like way over there or something. So again, just go ahead and have the arrow knocked. It's not going to go anywhere, and just look at your mini map. I look at mine probably every 3 seconds, right? And don't rely totally on that information, because there is a delay with your map with where the enemy player is, but it will give you a good sense of direction of, like, how close they are, and maybe what measures you need to take for their positioning as well. So now let's talk about some of the bow stuff here. I really enjoy the charged melee combo that I do, and what that does is this. So let's say that I have an enemy player here on heavy, and he's trying to aid me with like shotgun or something. Well, let's say I dodge back and I strafe back. Well, I can hit him with a charged arrow shot, and then my melee ability really quickly, and that's a really quick way to pick up a kill. And you're going to notice with the Feint of Knives charged melee ability, if you see that circle, like where my bow's aiming, that middle knife will go exactly where you put that that little circle whenever you're about to shoot somebody. And so it's just a quick, easy way to pick up a kill when someone's trying to rush you. Now let's talk about the grenade launcher, something that my friend Riku, he's just a master when it comes to using bows and GLs, and it was really him that kind of made me want to try it out. And yesterday I got my first ever rerun while using a bow and stuff, so it's pretty epic. But what I do want to suggest is this. So GLs, they're good for a couple things. One, they're good at poking players behind corners. They're good for enemy players, aping you with a shotgun because you can direct impact them. And what also makes them really good is when you do use a bow. So let's say, for instance, there's an enemy player here. I hit them. Well, I can switch over to that bow and bounce off that wall and just put it into the enemy player's retreating position and, pick up that kill really quickly. When it comes to using a kinetic GL, again, highly recommend having a kinetic GL like a Pardon Our Dust or Ignition Code with a auto-loading holster on it, because a lot of times you're going to see, um, you might have to switch back to your bow to pick up you might hit another player and they're low, and you got to switch back to your bow to try to clean it up. And you won't have time to reload that next round into that GL unless you have auto-loading holsters. So that's a really big thing too. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. I plan on releasing more guides, so make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I will be catching you guys later.